My name is Jonathan Dawson, and I was 10 years old when this happened. It was a night that began with fear, but ended in something I never expected. Before we start, if you enjoy prairie stories and Wild West adventures, please like, share, and subscribe. New episodes are posted regularly, and your support helps keep these stories alive. It was early autumn, just after we stacked the last hay in the loft. The air felt different, cooler, sharper. Even the birds flew more quietly. We had finished our chores just as the sun began to dip low, and Ma was putting cornbread in the oven. I was brushing down Flint when I heard the dogs bark. This wasn't their usual bark. It sounded different, short, sharp, a warning. I looked up and saw him, a man on horseback, riding slowly up the path, half in shadow. His coat was long and dark, and his hat was pulled low over his face. I couldn't see his eyes. Ma stepped out onto the porch, holding Annie close behind her. Pa, still limping from his injury, stood with his shotgun resting against the post. It wasn't raised, not yet, but he was ready. "Evening," the man said, stopping at the fence. His voice was low and tired. "You lost?" Pa asked. "Some," the man replied. "Some hungry, too." There was a long pause. The wind pushed dust around our boots. Pa didn't say anything. He just looked. Then he nodded once. "Dismount." The man got off his horse and tied the reins slowly, as if he had no rush. That made me more nervous than if he had been quick. Ma brought out water. I watched as she studied him. His hand shook a little when he drank. "My name's Eli," he said finally. "Been riding a long way. I'm not looking for trouble." "You a wanted man?" Pa asked, still standing. Eli shook his head. "No, sir. Just a man trying to find peace." Something in the way he said it changed the atmosphere. The tension eased just a little. Supper was quiet. He sat at the end of the table, close to the door. He didn't take off his coat, even when the fire warmed the room. He shared some of his story. He lost his wife 2 winters ago, and had been drifting since. He mentioned a past he couldn't fix, and a future he wasn't sure he deserved. Annie, always brave, handed him clover. "She helps when I'm sad," she said. Eli looked like he might cry. That night, we let him sleep in the barn. I didn't sleep much. I kept thinking, what if he stole something? What if he rode off with Flint, or worse? But by morning, Eli was still there. He had already fed the animals, fixed the squeaky barn door, and was chopping firewood by the time I got outside. Ma gave him a biscuit, took it slowly, looking grateful. "I best ride," he said. "Didn't mean to stay long." Pa came out. "You riding nowhere in particular?" Eli looked down. "Just away." Pa nodded. "You're welcome to stay a day or two. Help is needed with winter coming." Eli didn't answer right away. Then he looked up, not at Pa, but at me. "What do you think, son?" he asked. I swallowed. I looked at Ma, then Pa, then Annie, who was holding Clover tight. I nodded. "You helped already. Might as well stay a while." Eli smiled. It was the first real smile we'd seen. That day turned into 3, then 5, and then a week. Eli worked harder than anyone. He repaired the henhouse door that Pa had meant to fix for months. He even made Annie a new swing from 2 ropes and an old board. But one night something changed. A rider came fast up the ridge just before sundown. Dust swirled behind him, and he didn't greet us. Pa stepped out again, shotgun across his chest. Ma told me to get Annie inside. The rider dismounted quickly and called out, "You seen a man named Eli? Tall, coat down to his boots?" My heart skipped. Eli stood behind Pa. "I don't want trouble," Eli said, "but I reckon you've already brought it." The man, a bounty hunter maybe, looked at Pa. "That man rode with a gang 2 years back. Some say he turned him in. Some say he ran. Paul looked at Eli. Is that true? Eli didn't blink. I ran. And I've been trying to outrun myself ever since. Silence. Then Paul lowered the shotgun. He's not that man anymore. He's fixing fences and making swing sets now. You can ride on. The man didn't like it, but he didn't push. He spat in the dirt, mounted up, and rode off. Eli stood frozen, as if he couldn't believe what had just happened. You're part of this place now, Pa said. And that night, by lantern light, Eli played a song on Pa's old harmonica. It wasn't perfect, but it was soft, kind, and honest. For the first time since the storm, the fall, and the dust and fear, our home felt full. Not perfect, but full. Next time, I'll tell you about the night we found a runaway slave hiding in our barn, and how our family risked everything to help him reach freedom. But that's a story for another fire. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share it with someone who loves frontier tales, and subscribe for more prairie adventures every week. I'd love to hear what you think.